Welcome back, viewers of my last video, and hello, welcome to the new viewers. So it's been a while. I lucky forgot about this channel. Kind of funny, because I said with captions that there'd be a new video out soon, but that never happened, and there was a Pokemon there that will be featured in today's video. If you're new here, hi, I'm James. I made this channel to show the Pokemon my friends and I are making to an audience. My region's based in Germany. We chose Germany because it has a lot of inspiration for cool ideas, and my friend is German. Since that video from last year, I've actually come up with a couple more ideas that I've created already, but those will have to wait because today we're designing the starters. If you remember from a year ago when I designed the starters, I thought they should all have a unifying theme. This is a concept used in the mainline series games that makes the starters feel organised and connected, a little group. For example, how all the starters in Kalos are RPG roles. Delphox is a mage, Chestnut is a tank, and Greninja, well, it's kind of obvious. I decided to go with the theme of fairy tale roles. Many popular fairy tales have come from Germany, most of which came from the Grimm brothers. The most well-known ones are probably Cinderella, Snow White, and Rapunzel. Their stories will be included in lots of these Pokemon and also in the starters. The grass type was a pig with the fairy tale role of a protector, like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. This fire starter we chose was a fox themed around the role of a trickster. The water starter was a rabbit with the themes of the main character, or like a dreamer. Today I will show you the developed evolutions of these Pokemon. But before that, if you like this video, it'd be pretty cool if you subscribed and turned on notifications, or even just comment. If you have any suggestions, it would make me feel like some people are watching this video, and that would be pretty cool. Let's start with the grass type. With the theming of Protector, I imagine the evolutions would be bulky, top-heavy Pokemon that would look like a stereotyped bodyguard. When Pokemon evolve, not only do their design evolve, but also does their character and emotions. Examples like Drizzile are Pokemon that age like people. They start out as a young emotional child, developing into a teenager that could be angry or emo, then develop into a strong adult. I wanted to follow this convention with this line in particular. I wanted the middle stage evolution to look like a punk or a developing teen that, while still loyal, is a bit more reckless. I had trouble with the positioning and the proportions because I wanted it to look tough but not exceed what I could do with the final evolution. I really liked the mohawk idea that I was toying around with at the start, but when it started to look too much like Thwacky, I scrapped it and replaced it with a hat design. I realise now that that could have been a mistake because I quite liked the mohawk. Maybe there's another hairstyle that I could change it to, but for now, this is what I made. It's okay, but there's definitely room for improvement and it's scheduled for a revisit. Pigallint, the guardian Pokemon. Pigallint is often seen tending to young plants and saplings, carefully clearing debris and shielding them from harm with its sturdy body. It trains by ramming into tree stumps and dragging fallen logs, strengthening itself so it can better protect the forest. If anyone harms the forest, Pigallint will become enraged recklessly, slamming into them with no control. The final evolution in this line will follow the same aging convention. It becomes an adult with full control of its emotions. It will be a proper protector of the forest with that Yu-Gi-Oh! Bodyguard build. Bulbarian was also supposed to have some barbarian imagery, hence the name. It has some armor made from leaves and big tusks to show its power. To add to the barbarian imagery, I added leaves that kind of look like a braided beard. I wanted to draw some inspiration from the Beauty and the Beast. I wanted to give it some patterns to look kind of like royalty. In the final design, I got rid of that though. This Pokemon gave me the most trouble out of all the Pokemon shown today. Trying to make a quadrupedal animal stand on its own 2 feet is difficult. I went through many variations to make that look right, and even some help from AI God themselves. In the end, I ended up with something that, like its previous evolution, needs work. I also needed to take more attention to detail. The leaves look a bit boring, so it will need a redesign. I also gave the starters new signature moves. Tell me if they're too OP. Bulbarian, the guardian Pokemon. Bulbarian are revered as the ancient guardians of the forest. Though their rugged appearance strikes fear into intruders, they are known to show a remarkable tenderness towards Pokemon in need. It charges with earth-shattering force when provoked, but remains calm and steady in the presence of those it trusts. Some say the forest itself moves to protect them. Fire types. From the very beginning, I knew I wanted this line to be based on a fox. Foxes appear throughout German folklore and fairy tales, often taking the role of clever tricksters who rely on wit rather than strength. That fit perfectly with one of the major themes of my region. I wanted the first evolution to feel like a teenager who has discovered they are talented and isn't afraid to let everyone know. It is still playful and energetic, but now carries itself with a bit of swagger and attitude, maybe a bit too much. Rather than relying on luck, it has started to actively use tricks and deception to get what it wants. I had the imagery in my mind of a smoky fire mask that covers its face like a balaclava. It hides its paws in its fur like pockets, and anything it steals goes into its tail. Its pose was designed to make it look like its back was up against the wall, relaxed. The rogue Pokémon. Pyrogue are playful and cunning, often using small flames to distract or prank others. As they grow, they may begin ignoring commands from trainers they don't respect, preferring to act on their own cunning instincts. Earning their friendship takes patience, but once bonded, they become fiercely devoted. This design is okay, but I prefer how the final evolution turned out. I wanted the final evolution to look like a legendary storyteller or wandering fox spirit, the kind of character that always seems to know more than they let on. It remains playful and unpredictable, but beneath that is a Pokémon that's highly intelligent and capable of helping others just as often as it fools them. For this Pokémon, the fox was supposed to take on the whole act of a jester. The ears are bent like a hat and the fur around its neck's poofed out to look like a clown neck frill. The feet are meant to look like boots. I like the playful feel of the positioning, like it's halfway through an act. Flamignus, the trickster Pokémon. Flamignus love causing harmless chaos and often use illusions to play pranks on unexpected passerby. They've been known to trick young children with mirages of shiny objects or dancing lights, only to vanish in a puff of smoke. Trainers must learn to laugh along their antics to truly connect with them. Finally, we move on to the water type, which is by far my favourite and the one with the most connections. Rabbits appear throughout fairy tales and folklore as characters who follow curiosity. That fit perfectly with the role I wanted the starter to play in the region. While the grass starter represents a protector and the fire starter represents a trickster, the water starter represents a dreamer/protagonist, one that wanders into the unknown looking for wonders. I wanted this line to embody ambition, curiosity, and the desire to reach beyond what seems possible. The line also works perfectly with the theme of astronauts. They look for the new frontier in space and are always looking for more. I imagine a bubble of air around the rabbit's head like a space helmet that allows it to be in space as well as the deep waters. The Japanese story about the moon rabbit can also be related to this Pokemon. For the middle stage in particular, the emotions turn from the previous lost crybaby rabbit into a quiet character that dreams of adventure. A teenager who spends more time looking toward the future than paying attention to what's happening around it. This was quite a fast drawing digitally since I did it in my book first. Its hands are together with its eyes closed, a star pattern on its chest symbolizing its bright, no pun intended, future. The Dreamer Pokemon. Astrical gaze into the bubble that surrounds their head as if it were a crystal ball. Legends claim they can glimpse fragments of the future. They rarely share what they see, fearing that revealing fate might alter it. However, trainers who form a deep bond with Astrical have reported sudden flashes of imagery that later came true. Now onto the final evolution. The final evolution now has evolved and is now the fully developed astronaut. I designed many of the parts to look like an astronaut, from obviously the space bubble helmet, but also the part from the astronaut that simultaneously looks like a hairband. The pink pattern on the legs look like tubes from an astronaut suit. The ears are rolled up to look like a hairbun. I drew the rabbit jumping upwards like it's on the moon, and I positioned its head looking upwards towards the future. I did have trouble at first, but I started to get what I wanted halfway through, and I think it looks great. Leoporion, the starbound Pokemon. Leoporion is as rare as a shooting star, and just as breathtaking. When spotted, they are often seen guiding lost or injured Pokemon to safety. Using their psychic power and protective bubble helm, Leoporion can drift effortlessly through both deep space and the ocean depths, drawn ever onward to fulfill their dream. This evolution line was one of the easier ones to create. This is because I had a clear direction from the start. While there are some details I would like to improve, I think that it does a good job showing the transition between a simple dreamer and what it eventually becomes. Here are some of the signature moves from these Pokemon. If you would like to see them, just pause the video. I hope you liked the final designs and enjoyed this video. I personally like the contrast between the last evolutions. My favourite is Leporeon. What's yours? I should be back making videos consistently. Sorry if you were waiting. As I said before, there are more Pokemon I have to make videos about, so until then I won't make any more until I catch up. Also, I'm not the only person working on this project. My friends are also helping out too. They have made their own Pokemon and I want to show them in a later video. One of them even has made this music playing right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It would make me feel like I have an audience. And if you have any suggestions to make these Pokemon better or new ideas for future ones, or even make the videos better, comment down below. Thanks, James out.